Chris Claiborne is joining us. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
We'll open up to questions from the media using the raised hand function. Please use the raised hand function if you have a question for Coach. Start off with Hode.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. I know that Eric Gentry, the minute he arrived at ASU, really became a very unique linebacker, something you don't even see much in the NFL, let alone in college, with his length. As a newcomer, obviously, you have to go through the normal learning curve. But what have you seen from Eric throughout the spring, and how do you project him moving forward?
Oh, man, he's showing some very unique skills, being able to use his length, size, quickness. We're just getting used to practice. He's a young kid coming from high school, but he has a very high ceiling. Look forward to seeing him develop. I think the weight room will be big for him. So, but I mean, as far as just practicing and showing skills, I mean, he's got great ball skills, and he's trying to pick up the defense. He's doing a pretty good job picking up the defense. He just got to keep getting the repetitions and keep going.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris. Good. One of the things that Antonio Pierce always talked about is the importance of veteran linebackers setting the tone for a defense. And I just wanted your sort of sense about where you think that Merlin, Darian, Kyle are at in that regard.
Oh, man, this is they have a chance to be a very special group. The good thing is they're very interchangeable. I think AP did a good job of having those guys play multiple positions. So now when we get into our packages, we can mix up the groups. You could have Darian and Kyle. You could have Kyle and Merlin. You can have Merlin and Darian. So they're a very versatile group. I think that moving forward, they're just going to be really good for us. For me, just wanting to keep pushing them to be better at every single thing. And really, like I said, being one of the top groups in the Pac-12, that's the goal that we're trying to reach for.
Michael.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. To piggyback off that too, I mean, you stepping in your first year, how do you feel with the addition of Eric, but just in general, the overall depth of this linebacker core looks to you?
I think the starters have got multiple games and they have a lot of depth. I think we're just trying to build that. We had a lot of young kids come in last year, so and they didn't really get to have a full season. So I'm just looking forward to really developing them and getting them to understand the game, understand what we're trying to do and accomplish as a defense, and just getting better every day and working at their craft.
Oki?
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
So this week, it was announced that the COVID-19 vaccine will be available for everyone over the age of 16. How have you handled discussions about the vaccine? Do you recommend your players that they go out and get that vaccine, or have you struggled with determining whether that's in your place?
Yeah, that's not my place. That's over my pay grade, honestly. I don't have any thoughts on that. I'm a football coach, and I'm trying to do the best I can to make my football players to grow and get better. That's more something that administration, everybody else will deal with and handle.
Chris Cartman.
Yeah, Coach, the film watching and the studying opponents and all that stuff is so essential with linebackers, understanding like what's going to happen ahead of time. So where do you think that this group is at in that regard and their work ethic toward those aspects?
Well, I think more than anything, we've been in spring ball, so that's a development key, right? And that's something that you acquire as you go through the year, or before you start the year, right? When we get in the fall ball, we'll definitely start to get to hone in on what our opponent is doing. Right now, we're trying to establish the defense and learn the defense and get these guys to play at a high level every day. So I think that's the focus. I think the goal of getting into the keys and stuff like that comes, of course, right, with the time. But I think more than anything, we're trying to work on development and learning our defense.
But so what about the habits of watching your film after spring practices and making sure that those guys are?
I couldn't hear you. You kind of went out.
Could you ask that again, Chris? Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, just what about just those guys watching all of the practice film that you guys are putting up and developing those types of habits now so that they carry over?
Well, I think they are, but I think they're just, again, trying to develop and understand the defense, understand the why and what we're doing and why we do it. I think that's very important. And then you can start to add those other key elements to it. But right now, I think the boys are doing a good job of just trying to learn the defense, learn what we're doing, why we're doing it. And again, playing fast and doing the things that you can control, which is hustle and make your plays.
Michael?
Well, Coach, to piggyback off that too, do you feel obviously with all the experience that's coming back in the secondary and like you just alluded to the experience at linebacker, that the installation of the defense and the more of why is coming, I don't want to say easier, but they're getting it a lot faster with the experience that you guys have?
I think so, but I also understand that it's about the group, right? Not just my top 3 guys knowing it. I think it's about the group knowing it. So we're still, again, developing and working at it. We got a couple more days and want to finish strong and on a high note. And again, when we get into after the fall to the summer part, really honing in mentally on what we need to do every day to get better, whether it's the defense, the techniques, the things that you need to do within the defense to make the defense work.
Ode?
Even though it was a 4-game season for ASU, this running back group has really established itself as one of the best in the Pac-12, maybe the best. Seeing them every day in practice, how much more are they enhancing just the overall capabilities of this linebacker group? I mean, how important is that challenge to have every day right now in spring practice?
Well, I think having them every day, now I get to see the things that I want to, work with them on and get them better at. And again, it's a constant evaluation, honestly. We shouldn't be at our best now. We should be at our best when the season starts and as the season goes on. So that's the main thing I'm focused on, is just continue to work on your craft, whether it's one day being physical in practice, working on reroute, and just different things that we want to do and accomplish. That's the focus and the goal every day to get better in the spring.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Mike Cavanaugh is joining us. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Oh, anytime. This is great.
We'll open up to questions from the media using the raise hand function. Start off with Hode.
Hi, Mike. I know there's a very fine line between wanting to keep the competition going, but also really having that cohesivity and chemistry within the offensive line. How important is it for you to have the same starting 5 or maybe the entire 2 deep at the end of spring practice be the same one that's actually going to suit up for the season opener?
Well, I think the first group's a really good group. They've been working hard. I think the chemistry overall is really getting there. They've played together before as well, so that helps. And then the 2s, there's some. I'm looking forward to some of the new guys that are coming in too. So I mean, until they get here and get going, it's hard to really say everything's cemented in the stone. You know what I mean? But chemistry is a big deal. We've been out every day, half hour early before practice, really working hard on fundamentals. When I took the job, I told all you people that the toughness and technique is going to be important. And I see, I get excited when you see it drill, and then it's carried over into team. So that means, you're working hard and it's becoming muscle memory.
Chris.
Mike, what are some of your thoughts about some of these second team guys and the overall depth at that level, between Ralph, Jarrett, Spencer, Cody, et cetera?
Yeah, well, as a center position, Cody's got to really step up. He really hasn't played in a while, but there's no excuses. So, guys got to get locked in. I really think Ralph would be better suited at guard. He's gotten reps in there. Spencer's been playing some right tackle, but he'd probably be a better guard too. Isaiah's the young tackle. He's really athletic. Obviously, he's coming off a hand issue. Jarrett is an athletic guy that needs to just keep learning.
Jesse.
Hey, Coach. Herm said on Monday that the newcomers, the freshman guys, could see some time, on the second team. You talked about them a little bit. Just what do you see their role being on the offensive line?
Well, I talked a little bit about Isaiah already. We're really excited about Ezra. So I've talked to Ezra, and once spring ball's over with, we've got a lot of the technique stuff on film. I'm going to work with him watching the technique stuff so he gets to learn that. And then more importantly is the schematic of our offense. And then I'm really excited to see what Sione, like also could do. And, it's just kind of been too bad that he's had that foot in the boot. So, we're going to continue to work hard. One of the things I like to be able to do is get those young tackles going and then get Spencer more guard reps. So,
Chris.
and we need a guy to step up with the center position and the twos.
Coach, the Tristan Miller, we haven't seen him out there at practice last couple of weeks. Just wanted to see if there was any update on him.
I'm not sure if I could talk about it or not, but he's had an injury, so that's why he's not out there.
Michael?
Yeah, Coach, how would you say, I mean, you're saying the twos and the young guys, but overall with these young guys that have come in, how do you feel that outside the technique, but picking up the offense, how do you feel that they've come in picking up the offense and the scheme so far?
I think overall, well, the guy I didn't mention was Armand. Armand's been getting reps with the twos at guard. A lot of guys just got to grow up, and he's a tough kid. He's done a really good job of finishing blocks at times. But again, it's a work in progress. He's got to continue to learn, grow up. When you're coaching guys, you're not always just coach them at football. You're coaching, and I'm not just talking about one guy. You like to give them life lessons, So that's my job.
Michelle?
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the
Michelle.
is a pretty crucial position, and that's where you lost a guy not coming back. So can you tell me what you've seen out of the guys that are contending for that position thus far?
Sorry, I didn't really understand what you talking about. Should I talk about the ones or?
It's center. Can you talk about the guys that are contending?
Oh, at center right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
We moved Donovan West. I call him Westy. But we moved Wesley to center, and I think it's a great move for him. He started a couple of years here at guard. He's a smart guy. We're working, to really work on the technique part of it, with him. But good football player, got a chance to be very good. I think he's moved into the center role well. Right now the number 2 guy at center is Cody, and he's got to continue to grow. Like I said already, I'm going to force feed Ezra. You watch Ezra. He's a physical guy, smart. He has passion. So we just got to get him ready right there, and hopefully he'll push.
Amir?
Yeah, Coach, you spoke about your role being bigger than football, and you also spoke about chemistry being a big part of the O-line. So outside of your standard team and individual settings, how are you guys building camaraderie outside of the practice field?
Well, my wife just got here. She's looking for a house, and then she's got an appointment next week with Mayo. But normally we'd have the guys over. You guys have probably read stories. Well, one night, a couple Thursdays ago, I took them all to Jun Sushi. When we're working, and then I try to have fun with the guys as well. So they see Coach Cav on the field, and I guess you could say Uncle Mike off of it at times. But when we're working and we're meeting, it's business.
Chris?
Yeah. Hey, Mike. So Kellen, I thought Kellen was really impressive last year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about just his prospects this year and beyond into the NFL level, maybe?
Well, he's a really athletic guy. I think, one of the things I'm trying to work on with Kellen is just becoming a better technician. He's got such great feet. You block people with your feet first, but, you also got to be able to do a great job with your hands. So, just trying to work details on technique. And, he's got the ability to be all conference guy, I think, and then have a chance to be drafted. So, but as I tell all these guys, that videotape like this deal, that's your signature, that's your standard, that's your resume. So that's what you're all about, is what you show up there.
Last question, Michael.
Hey, Coach. To extend a little bit out too with the running backs, how do you feel up that? I mean, obviously technique, but they're picking up run blocking.
You want me to talk about our running backs?
Yeah, as blockers. I mean, you see their
I think they're
technique.
doing a great job. We got great backs. I'm so fired up about those guys, man. Great kids, know how to work. Sean's done an unbelievable job with them. They set a great tone, and they're talented. And I've enjoyed my interactions with them. Obviously, still, the guys I know best are the O-line guys. Then probably more the D-line guys. Running backs are always right around there. But I'm just a lot of the rest of the team. I kind of know the D-line guys, but I went in and introduced myself to Darian, the linebacker, Darian Black, and then Sully. And I got to know a couple of the Polynesian guys, AJ, the D lineman, Lole. I've been to Samoa a lot of times, so I love those guys.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.